Hi everybody and welcome to my first YouTube video. What I'm aiming to do is spend a couple of minutes with you just going through a few little techniques. One of the things I do find when I'm travelling around doing workshops that there's quite a lot of things that ladies struggle with. One of those is blending, so I thought we'd start off our little YouTube journey and we'd have a look at blending. So what I want to do is just a simple technique with you and just hopefully give you a few hints and tips to help you with your blending. Now if you are already good at this, by all means you carry on. All I'm doing is trying to help those that struggle. What I'm going to do is start with a piece of white card. I like a card that's got a low chalk content just because I find the inks blend well on it. And chances are, to be honest, I'll be adding some water at some stage, so it does help if it's a smooth card with a low chalk content. I'm going to be using my blending mat because again I find the inks will glide on this. I'm only going to use 2 colours today, but the technique I want to show you works really well with multiple colours. I'm using the Distress Oxide inks just because I love the way that they blend and the nice chalky effect they give. So I'm using Spice Marmalade and Candied Apple. I've gone for 2 colours that I know will blend well together, so hopefully it will show you how easy it is. There are lots of products you can use here. I'm going to use the round blending tools. Again, I just find these give a nice result. If you've got the square ones, you have got more chance of getting lines with these, really just because of the edges, not because of anything you're doing, but just because of the shape of them. Another little tip. Sometimes I notice when ladies come to workshops, they bring new pads and they think they're doing this for the right reason. They think they're going to get better results, but in fact you don't. These pads, well, they're a bit like me. The older you get, the better you work. Well, that's what I tell Carl anyway. So you'll see this is pretty grotty, but you know what? It gives me better results. If you do have to use a new pad, what I would recommend is cover it in ink, leave it overnight and let it season. It's a bit like when you get a new stamp. It's always best to put some ink on it, some say VersaFine ink, let it settle overnight, stamp it off. That way you're just seasoning it before you start. So, just going to make a start. Another little tip, try not to get too many finger marks on your work. These are dye-based inks, so obviously they're going to react with water. So try and remember to have a piece of kitchen roll at hand. I'm going to start with the orange ink. Now again, when I put the ink on my blending tool, try not to do this sort of thing because you're not going to get an even coverage. And again, you've got more chance of getting lines. So all we're going to do, circular motions. And then onto the card. I always start at the corner. Another little tip, just make sure that your card is nice and flat. So, as I say, I'm just going to start at the corner. I'm going to angle my blending tool slightly, come straight in with circular motions. Ink up again, start on the corner. I always like my corners a deeper colour. So that's why I start on the corner, because where you've got more ink, obviously it's going to be a deeper colour. Now I only want to go down 1/3 of the way of my card. So pop the orange ink to one side and into the red. Just going to turn my card around. Circular motions again, start on the corner. Now obviously this is a deeper colour. Re-ink, oh, just moved a bit, back in that corner, and again I'm going for about 1/3. The reason I'm doing this is what I want to try and show you is eventually I want just orange at this end, just red at this end, but in the middle where the 2 inks meet, that's where I want the blending to occur. So my suggestion is that now we spend time just in this area. Sorry if you can hear some pinging, I'm just getting a couple of messages on Messenger, so we'll just ignore that and I'll get back to them later. Right, back in with the orange, and I'm just going to work in this middle 1/3 with the orange. And if you notice now, it's more of a flat motion, still circular movements, but it's quite flat. Oh, just notice the rubber bands on my hand, sorry about that. been unpacking some parcels. Right, back into the red, and if you notice I'm only putting a tiny bit of ink. I don't need a lot of ink on my blending tool at this stage. So into that middle area I go, blending round, then over to the orange. I've not re-inked, I'm just using what's on my blending tool. Again, I'm working in this middle section. Again, you do have to work at it. It's not something that comes easy, but you know what? It's worth it for a good end result. And also, it helps with these bat wings. And you know what? If you're too young and you don't know what those are, all I can say is eventually you'll find out. And I'm very envious if you're that young, you don't know what they are. So I think that's looking rather nice. I've just got an edge here. So what I would do is a bit more orange ink and just want to tone that down where the red meets. Just want a bit more orange up here. And finally, what I like to do is just go over, I mean, to be honest, if you look, that's quite a nice blend already. But I just think I want to go over the top, the whole area with some orange. So circular motions, starting at the orange end and just come down, just to almost warm it all up. And just over the red a little. Now, don't know about you, but I'm happy with that. I think that's a lovely blend. The important thing is to remember, this is where you've got your orange, there's your red, and that mixture in the middle. You know, if ever you're not sure what to do, if your mojo's gone, you're at a loose end, just try some blending. Just pop two colours together like that and just have some fun. And when it's done, do you know what? Flick some water at it. It's the one thing I do love to do. Just get your spritzer bottle into your hand, a bit of happy clappy. Obviously the water will bleach little areas out and you'll get such a lovely result. If you need a quick card, stamping in black VersaFine ink can be perfect. Look at this. That's a very quick card, blended background. All I've done is stamped in black, add a sentiment. So quick and easy, and yet so effective. You could put a die cut on top of it, a black die cut. Wow, that'd really pop, wouldn't it? So, just back to this one. I'll just blot it to show you. So there's another topper ready for me just to stamp. I really hope this has helped. And please, I'd love you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm hoping to do lots more with lots of different techniques. Thank you very much. It means so much to me. Take care. Bye everybody.